Oh, I got a Crossverses battle that hasn't been talked about. I haven't seen it been talked about, so I'm gonna talk about it. We have Yoko Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho versus the nine-tailed fox Kurama from Naruto. Um, in the first scenario, they'll be fighting in Yu Yu Hakusho's Demon World. Um, and then in the second scenario, they'll be fighting in, Konoha's, not in the village, but like outside the village, in the land of fire, right? In those like the forest areas, they'll be fighting there. Um, you might be surprised to hear what I have to say about this. But scenario one takes place in Yu Yu Hakusho and Demon World. And this is Yoko Kurama, full power, end of series Yoko Kurama versus, Kurama, no Naruto, full, fully manifested nine tails, right? So physical strength goes to Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho, Yoko Kurama. Why am I giving it to him? He is kind of like it ain't exactly like it, right? But he's basically as strong as Sage Mode Naruto, like physically. He could pick up Kurama and throw him if he wanted to. If he wanted to get up close and pick him up and then throw him, he could do it. Now that's not how Yoko Kurama fights, but he could if he wanted to. If he wanted to run up on him and do that, he could. Speed goes to Yoko Kurama. Kurama's goddamn, the nine-tailed fox is a big, chakra beast, but Yoko Kurama's small. But don't get that shit twisted. This man will run up on it and start hitting it. Giving it the hands. I'll give the durability to Kurama though. He's big, tough. Endurance, though, I'm going to give it to Yoko Kurama. Yoko Kurama will get the endurance. Intelligence as well. Yoko Kurama is a strategist. He was a legendary bandit of Demon World, so he had to, make sure he was on his, P's and Q's, dotting his I's and crossing his T's when he was going into these places, making sure he was, all right. Making sure his guys were all right. He had to make sure a younger Yomi was not gonna fuck the mission up, right? He had to even account for him, going against him and doing whatever the fuck he wanted to do, and he was still able to, make shit happen, Experience also goes to Yoko Kurama. He's been around for like 1,000 years, so that guy's kind of old as fuck, right? And the nine-tailed fox has been around for a while too, but I got him with that because in all that time he was fucking people up and other things. Nine-tailed fox wasn't doing that. He was sleeping in the woods, fighting when he had to, but not always. Close skills go to Yoko Kurama. Again, he's gonna, like I said, he can run up on the nine-tailed fox and just grab him, throw him. He could just hit him with a whole bunch of strikes, bam, 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 a whole bunch of jabs. The 1-2 combo. All kind of shit, man. He can really fuck him up. Range skills, though, I'll give it to the nine-tailed fox. He can shoot his chakra out, and he can also shoot out tail beast bombs. Recoup, I'm gonna give that to Yoko Kurama. Yoko Kurama, he's a medicinal man too. He can, keep himself right if he has to. Hacks go to Yoko Kurama. He has all these plants. He has the Ojigi plant, which can basically eat you away. He has a whole bunch of different man-eating plants, and he has the death plant. He can sow that within Kurama. And then from the inside, he has plants growing inside of him. Boom, and I just the nine-tailed fox ain't gonna like that shit, right? Yeah, he has a lot more at his disposal. Nine-tailed fox, all he does is slash, cut, shoots chakra out of his mouth, and that's it. In Environment goes to Yoko Kurama because it's in Demon World. And he's familiar with that layout. Overall, in this fight, Kurama wins mid diff to the nine-tailed fox. Yoko Kurama wins mid diff to the nine-tailed fox. In the second scenario, which is happening in Naruto's world, outside the village in the land of fire, those forest areas, right? Strength goes to Yoko Kurama, speed goes to Yoko Kurama, durability goes to the nine-tailed fox, endurance goes to Yoko Kurama, intelligence goes to Yoko Kurama, experience goes to Yoko, close skills go to Yoko, range skills go to the nine-tailed fox, recoup goes to Yoko, hacks also go to Yoko, and then the environment goes to um, the nine-tailed fox. He knows the land of fire. He's been familiarized with that area, so he has that going for him. But against this guy who can like put plants inside of his body, he can have trees, different plants eat him. He can summon the singing tree, right? That's a tree that uh, makes people see illusions and shit. He thinks he's fighting Yoko, but then he's not fighting Yoko, and this tree is just eating at him. He has many ways he can go about killing this, beast. Yeah, man, Yoko Kurama wins mid diff, no matter what world it's in. But be cool, calm corner, and let me know what you think about that in the comments. And watch Yu Yu Hakusho. I know you probably watch Naruto, but watch that too, because these are animals are planetary by the end of the series. But be cool, calm the corner, man, and let me know what you think about this in the comments.